Okay, let's begin. Happy day to everyone. Let's start now. Planning and Control Management Part 3, how to establish or develop detailed baseline program. Our previous episode was Part 3, Session 4, which we discussed resource and cost loading detailed baseline program in second segment. So we are completely done on a resource and cost loading of detailed baseline program. So our current episode is Part 3, Session 5. It's about report layouts. And these are the components. We have to list some common layouts or report layouts for the baseline or detailed baseline program. And next is we have to prepare a layout for the detailed baseline program and also for the project longest path and project critical path, and also for project Lookahead schedule. Okay, our topic for today is Part 3, Session 5, right? About creating a report layouts for detailed baseline program. So let's create a minimum list of reports that are needed to be distributed to project teams for informations, reviews, and comments prior to final submission. Actually, this detailed baseline program should be approved by the client before it is to be used for the progress monitoring or updates. Take note first that as per my experience, the success of the development of a quality detailed baseline program or any other kinds of programs of the project must be through the contributed efforts or inputs from project teams involved, inputs from specialized disciplines, collaboration, coordination, cooperation, and other required supports from the organization. It must not be the one-man action or effort of a project planner or scheduler, because actually planner or scheduler collates all necessary ideas, knowledge, inputs, and all other significant project information from different project teams or specialists as their services and contributions are required. And the same, they have to prepare and organize the program accordingly. Okay. Okay, let me introduce to you the minimum detailed baseline program report layout that we intend to create here. Okay, detailed baseline program report layouts. First is the detailed baseline program. This is to show the project primary information as per contractual requirements. And next is the project longest path. This is self-explanatory for being the longest network of activities within the project. And the next is the project critical path. It is the network of activities within the project with total float that falls behind the threshold or less than 0. This may be or may not be the longest path. There may be some confusion in mind for some about what is the difference between the project longest path and the project critical path. Let me explain quickly or just in a simple way. Longest path exists in all types of schedules, either it's a contractual or updated schedule, irregardless of the value of total float. For a contractual or baseline schedule, it must be always be in 0 total float, showing no delays until it is updated, and the same is considered critical. While for updated schedule, it may be in a negative total float if it is in delayed situation, or it may be in 0 total float for being on time, or if the performance goes well than as planned, it will be in a positive total float of being ahead of schedule. While comparing to critical path is more popular in the updated schedule where the defined threshold is reached or exceeded. Let's say, for example, we have a threshold to be able to be alarmed a few days earlier than the activity is near in slipping the contractual due date, we can set a threshold for critical activities to 5 days or 10 days or whatever duration deemed reasonable. Okay, next is Lockheed Schedule. It is a schedule. This schedule provides project teams with information and guidance of the workable remaining scope of work at a certain period of time, considering the target and required achievements as per outcome of performance, and also in consideration with the contractual commitments. Okay. Next is the project histograms. Project histograms is the graphical presentation of trends of project plan or current projections, performance, and variances. Okay, we have here two types of it. We have here the activity usage spreadsheet and a profile. Actually, the activity usage spreadsheet, it is the activities resource assignment and expenses unit and cost distribution. While the activity usage profile, it is the graphical presentation of the activity activity usage spreadsheet. Okay, so next is the resource usage spreadsheet and profile. So resource usage spreadsheet is the actually it is the resource assignment unit and cost distribution, while the resource usage profile is the graphical presentation of resource usage spreadsheet. Okay. We're done. Actually, there could be more if we really want more. It depends on the contract requirements and more as per our team's request. Okay, take note, there are several ways on how to develop or enhance project reports, just like importing to MS Excel and enhance the presentations and also the so-called Power BI. But we shall prioritize or focus on Primavera P6 generated report capability first, and we'll attend to other method to the last part of our exercise. Okay, let's do it. So we'll go to our Primavera. Where can we find our Primavera here? Okay, here we are. So first we will open our project. So let's go to project window. This is the shortcut for the project window. And then we will open our project here, the detailed baseline program. Right click, highlight, right click, and then open. So we will start from detailed baseline program. So we will do it by Primavera P6 activity Gantt chart window. Okay, what shall we do here? We will save this into, we will save this as a detailed baseline program. We will go to project and then rename this into detailed detailed baseline program. Okay, let's save it. Okay, let's start from the window. Actually, these columns here, we don't need this one. We don't need this. We will show only the budgeted total cost, I think. So we will arrange the column. We will remove it. Activity name, that's okay. Budgeted expenses cost, we will remove it. Okay, we'll just show the budgeted total. And then the what will be the important things that we need to show here in our columns. Let's say the start date. Okay, start date. We have here the finish date. Here. Where is the start? Okay, here. So we will put it at the center of the column. What else? I think we need to show the total float. So it is under the duration here. So let's put it at the center. Okay, apply. Okay, so we have the duration, start, finish. We will change this into start date. Start date. And also this one will change it into finish date. And what else? Okay, apply. Okay. To adjust the column width, you can drag it here, but be careful that you will not be clicking in this area because your activity sorting will change according to this column. Okay, so, or you can double click it to fit the column. Double click it. Okay, double click this one. Double click and away. It is not enough. We have to shorten it. Double click. Oh no, we have to shorten it. Okay. We will move this a little bit further so that we can see the activity, the ID. How about this one? I think we can move it here out. We will move it a little bit. Okay, let's check the sorting. It might be affected. You see, start. It should be added by finish. Okay, ascending. Okay, apply. Okay, we'll move this one. We will drag this to 10 months. Okay. What can you see here? It is enough. I think the WBS we have to show into, we will organize it by WBS here, customize here under WBS, but we will show all the WBS level. So we will show all. Apply, okay? Okay. Here in our time scale, I think we need to put the 3 lines for the time scale. So we will right click here, go to time scale, and then we will show the primary dates. Okay. Besides the ordinal dates, we have to show the primary dates. Okay. Anyway, later, the ordinal dates, we don't need it anymore because we are focusing on the date. We'll be using the date. Okay. So what else? Actually, the site handover interim milestone. It should not be, actually, this should be critical also because this is this is important. This date is also important to the client because some purpose of it is that they will have to deliver it into the, let's say, give it to for occupancy, something like that. So, okay. There's none. So the next thing we have to do here is to modify our header. So let's go to using the shortcut menu, preview, print preview. Okay, so we will change the header here. The bottom, the footer is okay. Only the header. We have to change this into bitline, detail bitline schedule program. So we'll go to page setup. Okay, and then click header, and then we'll change this to detailed. Before that, we have to click this one and then okay, because letter S will be our problem later. Detailed. Then baseline. Program. And then what else? We will put this as a data date. Okay, data date. And then put the cursor here, and then we'll select here the data date and then add. Okay, we will change this into a smaller, let's say 12. Okay, and then we'll make it into black color. Okay, then apply. So we will make it in one line for detailed baseline program so that we can save the header height. Okay, apply. Okay, we're done. So our header height, we can save this one. So we can use this here, this portion, the height. You can reduce it to save. Okay, reduce more. Okay. And then we will use the page. We will use the A3 to make it spacious. Okay, A3, and then apply. Okay. So we're done. Next thing is okay. What's next? We have to put this into one page. So what is the best thing we need to do here to okay, we will reduce the text height or the row height. Okay, we will reduce the row height. So from here, table font and row. So we can let's say we will put it into 10 or 11. And then, okay, here, the row height, we have to remove this one. And then here, reduce it into, let's say, 23. And then apply. Okay, preview it. Okay, it's already one sheet by one sheet. So it fits to one sheet already. So the next thing to do here, we are done. So we have to print it into PDF and then submit. Okay, here on this icon, click it, and then select PDF. Okay. Okay, so look for the folder. We have already here the baseline. So if you want to overwrite the existing file name, just highlight it so that it will show here. And then click save. If you want to rename it to the other name, you can edit here on different name. But since they are the same name, so we will just do it the same. So save and then overwrite. Yes. Okay, so we are done on the detailed baseline program layout. So let's close it, and then don't forget to save it so that when you want to return on to that layout again later, you can quickly open it. Okay. So let me explain first what is, because gradually we have to explain some terminologies in Primavera P6. We need to understand the terms and how Primavera P6 terminologies works. Okay. So when we say start date, duration, I think you know that already. But the start date, it doesn't really a very simple to say that the start date, finish date here in Primavera, because Primavera has a lot of different types of dates. Okay, so I will explain to you what is start date and finish date in Primavera. So start date in Primavera, that is equals to the start date of the activity when the activity started. While for not started activities and the project is not yet scheduled, it is equal to the planned start date of the activity. What I mean of the project is scheduled is that since our project schedule now is not yet the schedule because this is a baseline schedule, but later on, once we have to start monitoring and updating our schedule, that's the time for us that the project will be scheduled. So that's what I mean. Meaning the data date will be changed while the time is moving, is running. The project updates is also running. Okay, it is also moving. Okay, and also for not started activities, but the project is already scheduled, it is equal to the remaining early start date of the activity. Okay, so a finish date is equal to the finish date of the activity when the activity is completed. While for not started or in progress activities and the project is not yet scheduled or not yet started, it is equal to the planned finish date of the activity. Okay. And for not started activities and the project is already scheduled, it is equal to the remaining early finish date of the activity. Okay, I think total float. This one. I think total float is, I already explained this to earlier. It is the duration that an activity can be delayed without delaying the project completion date. Mostly, this has a threshold of not to be less than 0. Otherwise, it will be considered as critical. Okay, so we are done on detailed project baseline layout. So we will go to next, project longest path. Okay, what we have to do here, just save this layout. First, we have to save this, click the save layout so that it will be stored for the layout of the detailed baseline program. Now we will click this one, save layout as. Okay, click it. And then we will save it as a project. A project longest path. Okay. And then we will I always use project so that it will be specific for project. So let's save. Okay, take note, we are working on the longest path layout. So what shall we need here on this column? Mostly some of the clients really want to see the early start. The early and the late dates. Okay, let's show it. Okay, first we have to look for the, we will be going to dates. Okay, we will remove this start date. and finish date, and then we will replace it in with early start, early finish. Do you have any early finish here? I think there is no early finish. Huh. Okay, early finish. And then we will go to the late dates. This is the late start and the late finish. Okay, total float and budgeted total cost. I think we don't need this budgeted total cost anymore because we are concerned of the network, or I mean the longest path of the activities. So we are concerned of the dates and the activities that is within the longest path. So we will remove the budgeted total cost, and then let's put the column into center. Okay. Highlight the activity column and then edit column and then put center. Okay, and then highlight. Okay, that's done. So apply. Okay, we will double click it. Double click. Okay, double click. Double click. Okay. Then we'll move it here. So we'll drag it here 10 days. Okay. So from time to time, let's click save. That is to be safe. You know? Okay. So this is the longest path. No, not yet. We have to filter it by longest path, meaning only the longest path should be shown on the activity window or on the layout. Okay. So we'll filter it by this one column. And then we'll go here. Actually, the current filter is all the activities, but we have to choose only the longest path. So let's say we will select longest path here. Okay. Click the checkbox and then apply. Okay. So that's it. So if you will preview it, actually we're already done here. Okay, save it. Okay, and then we will preview that. And then here we can say here the longest path. So we will change the header into project longest path header. Let's change it into, first we will click this one and then okay to avoid problem and letter S. So project longest path. I think on the latest Primavera versions, I think they have already addressed the issue on typing the letter S. So project longest path. Okay, I put it with letter S because it is two paths that is being shown there. Okay, and then apply. Okay, so let's save it into PDF. Take note, this is the longest path. Okay, we will be creating a critical path later after this. Okay, let's print it into PDF. And then actually I have already created this one. We will just overwrite this one. Project longest path and then save and then click yes. Okay, so we will do now again is what the critical path. So I think you already know what is the difference of the critical path and the longest path, right? Here, this is the longest path of the whole project. Now you will see later to the critical path that the entire milestone will be added here because entire milestone should also be a critical due to its since it is also an interim milestones, meaning it has a when it is not in a primary importance, it could have a secondary importance. Okay, so let's close this one and then click save to be saved. And then now we will create a layout for the critical path. So the same, we will save this as a project critical path. So remember, in our project longest path, we have two paths, which is the longest. But here in the critical and the project critical path, it will have three paths as the critical path. Okay, so critical. Okay, project critical path. It should be on project and then save, right? Okay, what is the difference on the column? They are the same. If you look at the actually this one, this should not be, we can automatically make this available as per the layout name. So what we will do here, edit it, and then header, since our layout name is project critical path, so we have to highlight this one and then select here layout name. You see this one, the layout name, and then add, and then apply. So it will change here. It will change the project critical path. Okay. So we're done here. What else we need to do here? Okay. Since this is a critical path, we have to filter this as a critical, the critical activity should be filtered where the total float threshold. So we will go to filter, customize, and then we will go to critical. Okay. No, you have to select, let's say we have to select our own new, let's say we will rename this filter into critical path. Okay. And then here, excuse, we'll select for the total float. We'll look for the total float, and then the total float, it depends on your threshold. You can say, let's say you have the selection here, but mostly we are always usually use the 0 as the limiting point. When it is less than 0, it is critical, and when it is equals to 0, it is on time. Or if it is more than 0, if it is less than 0, it is critical, and if it is greater than 0, that is not critical. So we will what shall we do? Okay, we will use the total float is equal or less than to 0. Where can we find it? Is it less than or equals? Okay, that is 0. So that means then apply. Apply. Okay. Okay. First, let me explain to you the total float here. When you are preparing a baseline schedule, uh, when you are preparing a baseline schedule, always look at the total float here. The longest path should always be 0. It should not be less than 0 because you are preparing a baseline schedule. it should not be delayed, because if it is less than 0, you're already delayed because you have already set up the milestone dates. Okay. And if you make it, I mean, if you want it to be earlier, that the total float is positive more than 0, that means you are ahead while the project has not started yet. Okay, so usually 0 is always the total float for the longest part of the project. So since we already look, if you look at here, where is our total float is? Oh no, remove this one. Apply. Okay. So if you look at here, it has already, I mean, 3 float paths here. We can do it by showing the plot path. Okay. Let's save it. So we can see how many critical paths on this project. So we will organize it by plot path. Okay. Let's go here. First, we will save it so that we can reopen it without at the same view as this. Okay, let's go to customize. Here, we will change it into plot path. Where is the plot path here? Okay. Apply. Okay. Here we can say how many plot path here. You can see 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Transportation and project management cannot be considered as the network of activities because it is a level of effort activities. So here is the plot path. Okay. The first plot path, critical path, is this one. Okay. And the second critical path is this one. And the third is this one. It becomes critical path for the interim milestone activities. Now, if you want more, like for example, if you want to see the WBS here, because if you look at this one, it is on a activity label, so you cannot see with the WBS view. You cannot see it, so you can come back here and then customize. If you want, let's say, for example, you can add here at the bottom the WBS. Okay, then apply. Okay, so you can see the at the plot path one, you can see the WBS where it is contained in the plot path. Okay. Okay, so we're done. So we will we can retrieve our WBS view, but since we save it before, so we can open the layout and then project critical path and then apply. See? So if we will preview it, okay, the header is already done. So what we need to do here is to print it so that we can submit it or distribute it to the project team. So critical path, highlight it, and then save. Then yes. Okay. So next. The next is what is our next? The Lookahead. Okay, we will go to Lookahead. So what shall we do with the Lookahead? Okay, we can use this also. We can save this as a layout, but before that, let's save it again to be sure. So we will save this layout as under project as the Lookahead. Let's say 1 month, 1 month Lookahead program, Lookahead schedule. schedule only is not a program because we are working only on time. So if we include a cost in the scale in this project, so that means we can call it as program. So 1 month look ahead schedule. So let's save it. So what should be the content of the column of the 1 month look ahead? Okay, the same thing. Early start, early finish, or let's say we will just remove the late finish and late start for simplicity to the project team. So we will remove the late, just show the early start and the early finish. Because if they cannot do the early finish, if they cannot make it in the early finish, they have still the late finish or late start. But we should not be confident. If we can do it earlier, the better. We are safer than waiting for the late. Okay. Okay. Apply. So we're done. So the next thing here is to filter. So since we want to show for the project team the 1 month inclusion of the activities, so we have to filter it to 1 month. Okay, let's say filter. Okay, filter it by let's say let's remove this and then let's create our own let's say new. We will make it as 1 month look ahead. 1 month look ahead schedule. Okay. So how can we filter it in 1 month? So here's the day. Here's the technique here is we have to early start is within range. Okay, when we say within range, we have 2 dates here, so it should start from what? It should start from the data date. That is the lowest value, and it should finish by the data date plus. We have to plus click 1 month, or you can say 30 days here or 4 weeks. Okay. Here you can say data date plus 30 days for 1 month, or instead of 1 month, you can put 30 days. Instead of days or month, you can use the 4 weeks. So we will use the 1 month here. Okay. And then okay, and then apply. Okay. So if you look at the some of the activities were removed, but the WBS level here still appears. So how can you remove it? Okay, just go here to the group and sort, custom, and then highlight the WBS and then click here at the group by options. You can see here hide if empty. That means this WBS level is empty. So we need to hide it to check it, mark it, okay? And then apply. So we have only a few number of, if you, we have only a few activities that is under the critical path, but actually under the look ahead. But this one, the level of effort activities, we don't need this to show under the, because we under the look ahead, because this is not really important, not needed here. So we will go back to filter. We will remove it. Okay. Go to filter and then we will modify the filter, the filtering here. Look ahead, modify, and then let's add. and then we will, that is an activity type with a level of effort activity type, right? So we will look for activity type here, and then it should not be equals to the level of effort, right? So it should not be equal to level of effort. Okay. So here you have to choose here all or any. So in this case, we have to choose all because we don't want all, we want this all be followed, or I mean this is the parameters of the to be followed by the Lookahead schedule. So okay, and then apply. So the level of effort here already removed. So we will stitch this out here. So that means this is the only activity when we say 1 month. So we start from here. So the activity should be until here, right? It should be until here. It should be shown up to June 30. So we have to move it here, save it. But actually, if you print it, it is not that way. So you have to preview. You have to preview the outcome before you can decide whether it is really correct. Okay, we will preview it. Okay, you see? Actually, the look ahead should be here. This one should be up to here, 1 month. We have to show only the 1 month activities. Okay. So how to do it? So you have to go here, page setup, and then you go here at the options, and then the time scale start is the data date. Okay, let's say we have to okay, data date. But if you want to make some space, you can plus some days in here. Okay, but we will use data date, and then this one we have to change it to data date plus 1 month, right? Okay, and then apply. Okay, oh, you see the activities within the 30 days or 1 month duration will only be shown here. So those activities are mobilization for temporary facilities should be finished within this month, and the mobilization for site construction, a portion of it should be done, and there is still for the next month there is still some to be accomplished or to be finished, the same as in the temporary facilities construction. Okay, so next is to print it into PDF. If you look at the header, it automatically follows the layout name that we designate for this layout. Okay, so we'll go to, so there is no look ahead here, so we'll 1 month look ahead schedule. Okay, okay, let's save it. Okay, we're done. So let's close it, and then don't forget to save it. Okay, I think our topic for today is only until here. Okay, as you notice, we are getting into an advanced execution of this exercise. So just prepare for a more complex topics ahead. Okay. Okay, so our next episode will be Part 3, Session 6, how to establish detailed baseline program, report layouts, which is under the activity usage spreadsheet. Okay, wait for a minute while you close it. Spreadsheet. Yes, so see you for this episode. And thank you for watching now. And please like, subscribe, and share. Okay. Okay. At the end of our session, God bless to all and goodbye.